What if I told you your hip mobility problem might not be a hip mobility problem? You might be thinking, what the heck are you talking about? But if you've been stretching a tight hip or tight hips for a while now without seeing any improvement in your range of motion, it's likely not a mobility problem, but a stability problem. So I'm going to show you a simple stability exercise to see if we can get that joint to sit in the socket a little bit more to open up that range of motion. So I'm in this, what we call a 90-90 position. I'm just going to come down to my elbow. So I had way more tension on my left side, so that's what we're going to train. And we're just going to be doing some isolated hip rotations. So from this low oblique sit position, I'm going to pretend my hip is a book. I'm going to try to close it with my torso and pelvis until I feel a lot of tension on the backside of my hips and kind of glute area. And then from here, I'm going to drive this knee into the ground to rotate myself back up. And then I'm going to rep this out for a good 10 times, seeing if I can sink a little bit further, really pushing to open myself back up. All that contraction's coming from the backside of my hip here, and you'll feel it if you're doing it correctly because it is smoking already after this third one. All right, last one here, really folding, driving that leg into the ground, rotate back up. Sheesh, and that was a workout of its own. I only did about 10 reps right there. So let's recheck our range of motion. So my right side's my good side. I got range for days here. It's nice and springy. Left side was definitely tighter. Still tight, a little bit more springiness, but we only did about 10 reps right there. So let's do a more advanced version to see if we can get more mobility out of a stability exercise. So for round 2, I'm going to be in the same starting position where I'm in that 90-90. Drop down to that elbow, what we call this a low oblique sit position. And then I'm going to rotate my torso almost like I was going to do a traditional plank. So in this position, we're closing down on that hip joint more, and we're going to really force the backside of the hip to contract. So then it pulls that joint into a better position. So from here, if I'm doing my left side, my left elbow is going to be driving into the ground. As my left knee drives into the ground, I'm going to slowly bring that hip up just using those 2 points of contact. So this top right leg is just dead, and I'm going to slowly control that movement on the way back down. Just touch, and then I'm driving that knee to bring myself back up. And this is not a ton of movement, but boy, am I getting humbled right now. And I'm sweating, and this is only the third rep. So I'm going to do about 10 of these. Really slow, controlled. Turtle wins the race here. Oh, I don't know if I can do 10. This is a lot harder than it looks. For the last couple, to give myself a mini break, I'll show you from the opposite side. So left forearm doing this motion while I'm driving that knee into the ground. I'm going to bring myself up, slowly bring myself down, hover, drive, bring it back up. And I got to tap out. I did about 10 there. Can you guess what's next? Retest. How do we know if stretches work? Well, you always check your mobility before and after. So we're going to go right side first. Again, this is a good baseline, good springiness. Left side. Ooh. We're definitely getting some more range. I still got some more work to do, but I only did one set of each of those exercises, and I gained quite a bit of mobility. So if I can stay consistent and do this daily for at least a 1 to 2 week period, I'm going to see a big change in those ranges of motion and hopefully equal out my right and my left side. Are you still curious about how a hip stability exercise can create more mobility? Well, let me know in the comments, and I'll continue to make content like this and also give you the secret sauce of how it works. And if you want to bulletproof your hips with more stability exercises, well, also give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll make some more hip stability exercise content for you.